How was the Dutch Republic able to gain such a fortune during the 17th century, which was also known as the Dutch Golden Age? Well, this was partially due to the Dutch East India Company, in short the VOC. How did this company came to be? In this video you are going to discover how the Dutch East India Company made the Golden Age for the Netherlands. In order to understand how this company came to be, we need to go back to the end of the 15th century. The Low Countries, means what is now the Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg and even parts of northern France, were in the hands of the Habsburg monarchy. In the year of 1515, Charles V inherited the Low Countries and now they were under Spanish control. Shortly after, the Reformation kicked off when Luther hammered his 95 Theses on the church door in the German town of Wittenberg. This started the Reformation. Protestantism, or to be more specific Calvinism, spread like wildfire in the Low Countries. And Charles V, who wanted to preserve religious unity, he strongly opposed this. And thus, many of these so-called heretics burned at the stake. Now, these people were even more fiercely prosecuted by Philip II, the son of Charles V, who succeeded him. This eventually would lead to the Dutch Revolt, where William of Orange led an army against the Spanish armies of Philip II. This Dutch Revolt would last for 80 years. In the year of 1588, the Dutch provinces declared themselves a confederacy, also known as a Dutch Republic. The Dutch Republic was governed by the States General, and what we see here is some kind of decentralized structure because the 7 provinces had a great deal of autonomy. And we can also see this when it comes down to trade, because there existed many so-called pre-companies, Voorcompagnieën, who traded with their own purposes. However, the competition was extremely severe and sometimes even deadly, and therefore it often happened that Dutch pre-companies were fighting each other. So this was far from lucrative for the Dutch Republic. Therefore, in the year of 1602, these pre-companies were united into the Dutch East India Company, in short the VOC. In Dutch it is Vereenigde Oostindische Compagnie. Yeah, try to say that 5 times in a row. Good luck. Okay, the locations where the VOC traded stretch from South Africa to Japan. Most of their trade was done in the East Indies, what is now Indonesia. Now, if you want to know more about the VOC's activities in Indonesia, I made a video about that on location in Jakarta. Links are in the description. Now, do note here that to send a message from the Dutch Republic to the East Indies, it took a year and an additional year to respond. So therefore, the VOC needed autonomy, and this was granted by its board, the Heren 17, Lords 17. This was seated in Amsterdam and granted the VOC sovereignty. The VOC was allowed to hire anyone they wanted and wage its own wars. Now this here paved the way for excessive violence. Most notorious was Governor General Jan Pieterszoon Coen. He strived for a monopoly trade on the Banda Islands. However, when the Banda people refused to cooperate, he organized a mass murder, which can be considered as a genocide. Jan Pieterszoon Coen was a ruthless man, and countless people suffered tremendously under his command. Oddly enough, here in the Netherlands, Dutch street names are still named after him, as you can see here on this picture that I shot in my city of Utrecht. What do you think of this? Leave your comments down below. Coen strived for a total monopoly of the production and trade of spices. According to him, this could only be achieved by violence. Profits were used to buy weapons, No war without trade and no trade without war was his mantra. He established the VOC capital of Batavia on the ruins of Jakarta after it was burned down on his orders. Spices from the surrounding islands, gold and copper from Japan, and porcelain and silk from China were brought to Batavia. That, because of this, became a vibrant trading hub. These products were brought to India to be traded for cotton. Cotton was then used to trade for more Asian goods. This brought the VOC the most money. And that's why the 17th century became the Dutch Golden Age. It was then when all these monumental row houses in Amsterdam were built, and also when painters like Rembrandt van Rijn and Johannes Vermeer made their works with their painting industry. So how did the VOC came to an end? During the 18th century, the European taste for spices shifted to sugar. Also, the British managed to successfully copy the VOC system. The VOC system itself was plagued by corruption, and its methods were simply too rigid and lacked the flexibility to adapt to new commercial interests. That had also shifted from luxury goods to mass-produced goods. And basically, maintaining the spice monopoly at some point costed more than it was worth. Because of the French Revolutionary Wars, most of the VOC trading posts came in the hands of the British, who were by now the most dominating force on the sea. The VOC went bankrupt in 1799. But where the VOC ended, Dutch colonization began. Now, if you want to know more about the Dutch colonization of Indonesia, you can click right here to check out the video that I made on location. If you want to know more about the Dutch Golden Age, check out this video. I want to thank you for watching. Do not forget to subscribe, give this video a like if you like it, and also check me out on Instagram. Until next time.